The amount of people that you see online that you look up to that have all these followers and all these likes and all these comments are actually some of the most miserable people on the planet. And after I literally had over 140,000 of these guys as far as followers go on TikTok a few years back, I hit rock bottom. Now, in this video, you guys have already seen my other videos about business, entrepreneurship, things like that. Got over 215 videos on this channel. My point to you in this video is to tell you guys a raw story that I honestly have never told anybody else before. There's a lot of people, you'd be surprised, your most famous influencers that you really look up to are living very miserable lives because they have a huge following. Let me kind of get into what I mean by this, and let me get into why having this following taught me huge lessons and then ultimately failed, and it just blew up in my face. So years 2021, I went down this kind of like religious rabbit hole. I was almost finished reading the entire Bible. This is before I read, all the 60 books about business, entrepreneurship, mindset, psychology, sales, marketing, everything like that. This is before that happened. And I was just kind of reading religious texts. And so I had this grand idea that I want to become a religious influencer. Now, I don't even know why I'm sharing this on my channel. Honestly, last night a thought popped in my head and it was just like, teach people the lesson that you learned all those years ago, which was only like 3 years ago. And I was just kind of like, that's a good idea. So I thought about, making this entire TikTok thing, posted 3 times a day, just like, religious stuff, like daily Bible verses, things like that. And it turned out we just exponentially grew the last month of having the account. We went from like, 5,000 subscribers or 5,000 followers on TikTok, to having like over 120 and then 130, then eventually 140,000 followers. So, this is a significant amount of number. It's a significant amount of people. It's a good portion of a number. It's a good chunk of change, So what happened here is that people started to notice around me, and this is why a lot of your favorite influencers, they have different opinions held by different people. And that's totally cool. You want to be controversial, you want to be diverse, whatever. But what happened here is that a lot of family members, a lot of close people in my life actually looked down upon me because I had this account. And even before posting this YouTube channel, it was a huge insecurity of me to actually continue to post videos online. Because when I shut that TikTok account down in 2021, I thought I was never going to go back to social media. I said, this is not for me. I can't deal with this stuff. There's way too many just controversial opinions. And I hit rock bottom because I was letting everybody else's opinion affect me in a different way. And so now I was strung out. Obviously, I was just this person who was taking all these different opinions from other people the wrong way. I didn't even know myself truly to know what I wanted to discover. I wasn't confident in what I was saying. I looked confident. I spoke the part. I articulated well, but I didn't truly feel confident. I kind of felt like an imposter. I felt like somebody who was not even meant to be doing that thing. And I've talked to a lot of these influencers who have 300, 400, 500,000 followers, even 2.1, 3.6, 4.8 million followers. They feel the same way, And this comes down to a few things in my personal opinion. Now, what really happened here is I let a lot of people's opinions judge me. Now, at this time, I was kind of, like I said, I was, down this giant religious rabbit hole. I was, super into all this other stuff. And then when this happened, this kind of tore everything apart. And so it kind of went into like this bad, time in my life where it was just kind of depressing. I didn't really have a purpose. And this lasted actually for actually about a year or two. Maybe a little bit less. Obviously, it was kind of mild. It wasn't super intense or anything, but it was just kind of this like period where I felt purposeless. And I was just kind of like, what am I really doing? Like, I thought I was doing, God's work by sharing all this, these videos and stuff on TikTok. But then my closest family members were actually upset with me and looked down upon me because I didn't consult them prior to starting the account, or I didn't keep them up to date, or I was kind of doing this behind their backs. And so hearing that from people who were very close to me had a huge effect on my life. Now, this wasn't even a long time ago. I'm acting like this is like 30 years in the past. This was just 2-3 years ago. It was only 2024. This happened in 2021. Late 2020, early 2021 is when it happened. And so obviously the pandemic happened, everything like that. And so that time was tough. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, what's the point of this? What's the point of me making this video? Why am I still talking? The reason why I'm still talking is because the people who you look up to the absolute most, who have all these followers, all these likes, all these comments, are sometimes the most lonely and depressed people inside because they're not following their true purpose. Rather, they're chasing likes, achievements, comments, etc., etc., etc. And I felt the need to come on here and actually tell you guys the truth, because if you haven't spoken to these people, I have. If you haven't been on FaceTime calls with these people, I've been on FaceTime calls with these people. If you haven't spoken with them one-on-one, I've spoken with them one-on-one. I hear this stuff, even on a daily basis. People approach me who watch this channel. People come from my Instagram, whatever it is. People tell me a lot of the times that they might have the following, but they might feel like an imposter. They feel like they don't belong. And that truly comes down to following your freaking purpose. Now, I still don't even know my purpose yet. I'm still learning this stuff. I'm not proclaiming to be anybody I'm not. But in the process of reading all those books, and the process of discovering a bunch of different things and going down different business models and different paths, I'm slowly refining the process to find my true purpose in life. Now, I thought this TikTok account was the holy grail. Like, holy crap, I hit it, holy shit. We got over 140K followers. This is amazing. Everybody in my city not everybody in my city, a lot of people at my school were picking up on it. A lot of people were sending me screenshots and voice memos and stuff. And it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot to handle, especially coming out of a pandemic, and everybody's isolated, and then you go back to school and everybody knows you as that. So at this point in time, it was very, 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 very distraught. And so this kind of opened up, and the way I see it right now is it led to this huge discovery in my life. If that time didn't happen, if that dark time didn't happen, I would have not sought on to discover different routes, different avenues, different even business models. I wasn't even in the entrepreneurial space at the time. Entrepreneurship wasn't even on my radar. But if that event didn't happen, if that event did not occur, it would have not led me down the path where I'm at right now. And so everything sort of, in my opinion, if you read Reality Transurfing, like Conversations with God, like all of these different books, you really start to understand that the creative process of your life, everything is happening for a specific reason. And if this didn't lead up to that, then you would have not been here right now in this specific place. And so now you have to, be conscious and be thankful and grateful for everything that has happened, because you now are at the greatest position of your life for the present time being. And so this time period was extremely dark. I did not realize the amount of opinions I was facing. I would go live, people would hate, like the normal stuff, but I wasn't used to this. I thought it was all kind of rainbows and unicorns, but I would go live and people would like cuss me out, and I'd be like, bro, I'm like, what? Like, I'm a freshman in high school. We were doing online Zoom at this time. I was a freshman in high school. I was 14, 15 years old. And I was just kind of like, dude, what? Like, so like people on live were literally just cussing me out. Like, all right. So that was a huge wake up call as well, but that's for another time. Thing is with this is like, you might have the following, you might have the number, you might have 140,000 followers, which is a good amount of followers. That's a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. That's a good amount. But you might not have the clarity. You might not have the leverage. You might not have the direction. You might not have the dream. A lot of these kids, I see who are blown up right now on Instagram, who are like 14 or 15, kind of reminds me of my younger self a few years ago, because they're like super, super, super passionate in front of the camera. They sound confident, but I know inside they really don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, as far as business models and stuff goes, even hearing them talk about business, even hearing them talk about entrepreneurship, about marketing, sales, these kids have no clue what they're talking about. But that's an early sign that they have the fire, they have the drive, they have the ambition. That's going to continue to get stronger as they develop and get older. So right now, you might not have hit the holy grail, but you sparked that passion in you to prove to yourself, not to other people, but to yourself, that you've made it to the next level and that you really have the drive and the passion. So I highly encourage all of you guys, if you want to get started on social media or anything like that, or if you just want to start posting, don't do it for the views. This entire channel I've made specifically to where I do not care about the views. My videos get 20 views, 60 views, 80 views. I don't freaking care. My entire point of making this channel is to build up brand awareness and to slowly over time build up a name for myself in the space. And that is in the client acquisition space, and the marketing and the entrepreneurial space eventually, because I know years on the line, people will see these videos, they'll resonate with them, and they will say, holy crap, this kid was actually talking this stuff all those years ago. I'm going to work with him, whatever it is. And it's also to educate my audience too. So do not post videos just for the sake of virality. I promise you, there's no point in trying to do that. You'll look back at it months later and cringe because it was just a trend. You'll look back a week later and say, what was I doing? I was just doing this to drive views. It might give you some business, but most of the time those views are bad prospects or not qualified leads. And there's just no point in even trying to do that. Now, to each their own, nothing's bad, nothing's worse. I'm just simply telling you a time where I hit absolute rock bottom because I was chasing the wrong things. I was chasing virality. I was trying to chase likes. I would get 2 million likes on a video. I would have all these freaking watch viewers, impressions, whatever it was, hell of a lot of comments. I was chasing the wrong stuff. I was making blindless content without any purpose, and I was directionless. And so when everything got taken from me, I hit rock bottom because I tied my worth with that account, and all that I had was that account. And so when other people's negative perceptions fell upon me, I realized that that was pretty much what I took to heart. So that's why I went into that window of my life where things were not good. A lot of bad outlets I went into, and I'm not going to get into all that stuff right now, but that was a time that was just not really good. And so if that didn't happen, it would have not led me into reading all those books, discovering new entrepreneurial spaces, and actually just getting myself into the business space, getting myself into the online business space. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. 3.5 years after that happened, that's kind of where we're at. So take this as encouragement. If you want to build up your brand, if you want to build up a consistent business, start posting on YouTube, but lead the market with value. It's not going to get the views, I'll tell you that right now. It's probably not going to get the engagement that you want, and it's probably not going to get the recognition that you want right now. But in the future, I guarantee you, whether it's months on the line or even years on the line, it will build up authority. Look at guys like Iman Gaji, who've been posting since 2016, 2017. The reason why he is able to sell to millions of people and everybody loves him in the space, at least, a lot of younger kids do. A lot of people love him because he has built up the brand to back up whatever he's selling. He has a social proof, he has a documented journey, and then he has all the old videos up. And if he didn't have that, that part of his hero's journey would be sliced in the middle, and people wouldn't trust him as much because, well, he only has a few videos uploaded. With that being said, you guys, do not chase likes, do not chase comments. I want you guys to chase what you feel is driving you forward. Chase a purpose, chase a greater desire for your life rather than just likes or freaking dopamine monkeys commenting on your shit. Chase something more than that. It'll be more fulfilling. If you're having issues figuring out what exactly you need to pursue, you need to try different avenues. You need to read books. You need to educate yourself. You have to start with the groundwork foundations. You can't skip to level 3. With that being said, you guys, it's kind of the story about how I hit rock bottom after having 140,000 followers on TikTok. Hope you guys took something away from this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.